Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining us. We have a lot to cover tonight, of course. As usual, we always have these jam-packed meetings, but full of information. And then, of course, we're going to hear from our legislators later on in the meeting. So today is the monthly meeting, July 11th. Just remember that you can use gallery view, speaker view, mute yourself. This allows when someone else is talking, they're able to be heard from other people. So keep that in mind. You all just saw the agenda. We do have a lot to cover. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Sherry?
Good evening. We respectfully acknowledge that we are on the ancestral homelands of the indigenous nations that have inhabited these lands since time immemorial, including the Akimal, O'odham, and Peeposh peoples. Their traditional care and honoring of these lands allows us to be here today.
Thank you. All right. I just wanted to talk a little bit about independent expenditures and what they are. An independent expenditure, which is known as an IE, is a communication such as a website, newspaper, TV, or direct mail advertisement. As a reminder, IEs are not made in consultation or cooperation with any candidate, their campaigns, or political party. Does not mean candidates endorse each other, will include a disclaimer that identifies what PAC, group, or organization paid for that advertisement. Some are funded by dark money. I want to let you know, as the executive board, we do not or cannot endorse one candidate over another during a contested primary. I suggest that if you have questions about anything you've received, you ask candidates directly. They will have provided all of their information, and I'm sure they will throughout this call if you have questions or concerns. I will try to answer to the best of my knowledge, but I just wanted to let you know about this because it's been brought up to me a few emails, text messages, and phone calls today. So, Sherry?
This month for July, we are highlighting Independent Retailer Month, and our independent retailer spotlight is Brick Road Coffee from Tempe. Gabe and Jesse are the owners, and they have gone above and beyond to create a community-based business that provides a safe place for community members of all shapes and sizes, and they were integral in collecting so many signatures and allowing a location for the referendum, specifically the one to make it a constitutional amendment to codify Roe versus Wade here in Arizona. They've just been amazing community members and have opened their doors to us for any and everything that we need. So I just wanted to give Gabe or Jesse an opportunity to share a little bit about their business if they want to. Gabe or Jesse, you can unmute and tell us a little bit about why you opened Brick Road.
All right, I hope you all can hear us. This is Gabe. I'm here with Jesse. Sorry, we're in the back room of our coffee shop. I don't know if my camera's working. But yeah, thank you for this. This is huge. We're really grateful for the community, the support that we have received from Tempe, from the community here has been incredible. And we're just really grateful to be a part of this. So we like to say our space is open to the community. So let us know if there's something that you can see using our space for. We're here. We're open as long as your values align with our values. It's something that the community will probably need, and we want to help facilitate that. So I'll let Jesse say a few words.
Yeah, I don't know what to add to that other than, Gabe and I both came from finance, from the corporate world, and we're really looking to create a business that was as different as possible from that environment, and encourage our employees to grow and treat them the way that we would want to be treated ourselves. And I think that crept quickly into how we treat our customers. And really, you know, I say it all the time, Brick Road would not be Brick Road without the people that come here and have told us what they needed and expressed what they needed, and have taken us up on the offer. So, you know, we would just be here in a void if it weren't for the Tempe community around us. So, you know, thanks for that.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much. And everybody, if you haven't stopped by Brick Road, it's a little less chaotic now that they're done collecting signatures for the moment. But either way, go get a coffee, a pastry, a tea, lemonade. We just love it there, and we thank you guys so much.
Okay. One of the things you can help us out is buying tickets to our Bada Bing raffle ticket, baskets, I should say. We sell these at every one of our meetings. By buying a raffle basket ticket, you help support the LD. They've put the links into the chat, or you can scan the QR code. I'll leave this up, but I would like to know, we would all like to know as an LD, if there is anybody new to this meeting. Is this your first time attending one of our LD meetings? Please put your name and what city or precinct you are in, and how did you hear about us? We'd like to just say hi. We won't spotlight you, but we do like to recognize anybody new that comes to our meetings for the first time. We had a candidate event on Saturday at Mariposa Elementary, and it had a great turnout. We met a lot of new people. So I was kind of hoping that maybe some of those people came to the meeting tonight. It doesn't look like anybody's put anything in. Oh, we do have a couple of new people.
Thank you for joining us, Chris Altoff and Ashton McGee. Sorry, my dog's barking. We also have Melissa Westbrook from Tempe, first meeting, but has lived in the LD for a couple of years. And thank you for saying hi to my dog, Creed, Paul.
All right, so welcome first time attendees. We do appreciate you coming in and talking with us and hanging out with us via Zoom for the next hour and a half. All right, I'd also like to take the time to recognize our elected officials that are on this meeting. So if you are an elected official, please type your name and title into the chat so we can welcome you to our meeting, say hi to you, and make sure you get introduced.
We have our state representative, Jennifer Germain. We also have Kevin Walsh, who is the Kyrene School Board President. I know we have, okay, Mark Robert Gordon is here. He is our representative from the Democratic National Committee. And we have Mitzi Epstein, our current state representative for LD12. We also have Andres Barraza from the Tempe Union High School District Governing Board. Bridget Bellavina, who is a current constable for Kyrene Justice Precinct.
I know I saw more.
I know I did too. I'm looking.
Karen Latham.
Oh, Karen Latham, who is the constable for the University Lakes Justice Precinct.
Okay. If there's any more, we'll make sure we get to them. The next is that if you are currently running to be a candidate in our district, this goes for any position, not just the LD, but up and down the ballot. If you are a current candidate, please raise your hand. Using one of the Zoom feature at the bottom, we'd like to spotlight you and give you just a couple of seconds to be able to say hi to everyone that's on the meeting and tell us what you're running for. So I'm just going to go into order of the hands being raised. And let me stop share screen. So first up, Jennifer Jermaine. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Jennifer Germain, your current state representative from this district, and I am running for Justice of the Peace for the San Marcos district, which covers the entire city of Chandler.
Okay, perfect. Next up will be Paul White.
Hi, everybody. I am Paul White, running for one of the 2 AZ House seats from our district to fill the big shoes of Jennifer Germain and Mitzi Epstein on either side of me. And Melissa, don't forget that some people gave a reaction rather than raising their hands, so they're not up at the top.
Oh, see, I can't see that. Oh, thanks for pointing it out. All right. So Mitzi Epstein, you are next.
There we go. Hi, I'm Mitzi Epstein. I'm your current state representative running for the state Senate. My campaign, since I don't have a primary, is working with LD12 and the Greg Stanton for Congress campaign to work on field phone banking. We're having going to have canvases every weekend. So we will be ready for when the primary is done to be the awesomeness that is our community. If you are interested in going to a place for phone banking, we're using the Stanton office, and I'll put that in the chat. And like I said, it's a great thing to have a congressman who really gets it, that's helping down ballot candidates and working together as a team. That's what it's all about. That's how we bring in the wins. So I'm Mitzi Epstein, and I'm running for the state Senate. Thanks.
Thank you. Bridget, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bridget Bellavina. I'm running for constable. I am your appointed constable at the moment, and I've been doing it since March. And it's been interesting, and I've actually liked it, and I think I'm doing some good things out there. So I'm not the only one on the ballot in the primary, so please vote for me. We will see you in November otherwise, but I'm glad to be here with everybody.
Great, thanks. I just want to remind candidates, I won't be able to spotlight you unless you make sure you have your cameras on. Andres, you're next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Andres Barraza. I'm running for re-election to the Tempe Union High School District Governing Board. I just submitted my signatures today. Today is the last day, so I'm very exhausted. Been running around, but we're doing a lot of wonderful stuff in Tempe Union, from water mitigation to social emotional to addressing our disciplinary issues to we have actually the second best teacher pay in the state, and we're continuing to work on that for our entire staff. And I'd love to continue to let you guys know what's going on in Tempe Union. So I'm running for re-election, and I'm hoping to continue my work and win your support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Patty Serrano, you are next.
Hi, LD12. My name is Patti Serrano, and I am a current candidate for our Chandler Unified School District Governing Board. It's a very large district that cuts across LDs 12, 13, 14. So I'm running across different LDs monthly. So forgive me for not joining every month, but I'm happy to be with you here today. And I am a CUSD alum. I'm a product of our public schools here in Chandler Unified, and I've spent the past 9+ years as a CUSD mom with my son in the district. And my family really is rooted in our Chandler Unified School District community. And with everybody's help here, I hope to be the first elected Latina to our governing board here in Chandler. And like Andres, I filed today just over 900 signatures to qualify for our ballot this November. It was a big community effort across about 4 months, and we're really proud of that. And a shout out to Jesse and Gabe, because they were a hub for our petitions for a moment, and I really appreciate their support. I'll drop our links in the chat if people want to follow us along the campaign trail. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Stacy? Stacy, you're on mute.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry about that. I won't take too long because I can't walk and talk at the same time. It's a little breathtaking. My name is Stacey Travers. I'm running for House of Representatives here in LD12. And I guess I'll leave it at that. I have an event on Saturday, the 16th. If you want to come down to Brick Road, thank you, Jesse and Gabe. If you haven't had a chance to meet me yet, you can get a chance to meet me. I also have petitions for the no ESA vouchers that you can come sign if you haven't had an opportunity. So give me a shout, look me up online, Travers for AZ. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Off to walking and knocking.
Thanks, Stacy. AJ?
Hello, amazing LD12 Democrats. My name is Ajlan Kurdolu. You can call me AJ, and I'm running for Arizona State House. And I want to take this moment to say that thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for the support that you show to my fresh, inclusive, and positive campaign message. And I'm hoping to earn your vote in this upcoming election. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ. Joan? Oh, we can't hear you, Joan.
But now,
Yep.
okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Hey, everybody, my name is Joan Green. I am running for Phoenix City Council in our district. Happy to be here. As of now, I am the only Democrat who does live in Ahwatukee in our LD12. So I think it's very important that we are represented by one of our own. It's about time. And I want to thank everybody. We turned in our petitions last week, and we did 2.5 times more than was required. And Jagger is here saying hello. So again, I'll see you. We'll be at the doors with you. And full disclosure, I was one of the ones who did the reaction versus the hand up for the full disclosure.
You didn't have to throw yourself under the bus, Joan.
No, that's how we run our campaign, full disclosure. But thank you guys. But more importantly, and I just want to go with this, LD12 is really the best LD. And I want to thank you guys because I know it's so much work to put on, but this weekend was fabulous. We got to meet some great people. It was like homecoming week for me. So thank you. And I look forward to your next one.
Thank you, Joan. Amanda?
All right. Hello. I'm also one of the ones that did the reaction. That's because I'm not used to doing this on my phone. Hi. So I'm Amanda Steele. I am running for the Tempe Union High School District Governing Board, hoping for the second seat that's opening up this election season. I am a previous parent, so I had a son that spent about 8 years in Tempe Union District, which is kind of not normal considering you typically only do 4 years. So I have an interesting perspective. I plan to kind of hopefully bring the perspective that I have, which is an accessibility lens, to the school district. I've spent the last several years getting to know from the school level all the way up to the district level with different committees. And I believe that someone that has spent the last 20 years, I'm a speech therapist by day, and I'm a mom to a son with a disability, that someone with my perspective that has not ever been on the board is needed at this time. We have had a global pandemic, and more than ever, we need a lens that understands a global developmental delay. We have had a lot of students that have experienced a lot of stress, a lot of trauma, and I'm trauma trained, I'm mental health certified, and I believe I bring a lens that would benefit Tempe Union High School District. So I will be at Brick Road Coffee. Thank you, Gabe and Jesse, on the 23rd, if you'd like to come and meet me from 9-11 for coffee with a candidate. And I am planning a kickoff party that will be announced soon. So follow along. I will also put my information into the chat. Thank you much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Amanda. Kevin?
Hi all, Kevin Walsh. I'm running for re-election to the Kyrene School Board. If you don't know, Kyrene has 26 different schools in Tempe, Ahwatukee, Chandler, Guadalupe, and the Gila River Indian community. I have 2 exciting updates from my LD12 friends. First, I was able to turn in over 900 signatures to qualify for the ballot. So thank you to everyone here that signed or helped collect it. I really appreciate it. And the second one, a little bit of personal news. My wife and I just announced we're expecting our 3rd Kyrene kiddo to be arriving this December. So vote in November, and then we'll have a little baby Walsh in December. So we're excited.
Oh, congratulations, Kevin. Thank you for sharing
Thanks.
that. Sam, you're up next.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sam Huang. I'm running for state representative. We need to fund school. We need to raise teachers' salary. We need to fund healthcare. We also need to help make the house more affordable. All this require money. But where is the money come from? I'm the candidate who show you the money. So if you like that approach, please give me a vote. Thank you. And I do have my sign ready and you can test me. Thank you. Bye-bye. Not bye-bye. I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you, Sam. Patty?
Thank you.
I assume that's me, Patty.
Yes, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, there is more than one Patty, but Patty
There's more than one
Contreras.
Patty on there. Okay, good. Hi, I'm Patty Contreras. I'm running for Arizona House of Representatives. And I'm just a couple things. My website got changed to a .net. So if you're looking for me, it's ContrerasForAZ.net. Although I hear some folks can get redirected for the .com to the .net. So, but anyway, if you're trying to find me, that's where I'm at, ContrerasForAZ.net. Also want to invite folks over to the Brick Road Cafe on Sunday from 10 to noon. They'll be hosting a meeting with the candidate for me. Look forward to meeting a bunch of new folks out there. And I too have yard signs. If you'd like a yard sign for your yard, I got plenty, and just give me a jingle. Thanks.
Thank you, Patty. Sharon?
Hello, everyone. Great to see you guys. I don't feel like I've been around a lot, but I assure you I'm still putting in the work in different ways. I have a lot more restrictions on me than I did 4 years ago, folks. For instance, we had a judicial conference and we were advised not to sign any petitions. You know, so those are a lot of new things, and I'm not sure how I'm going to handle that. But I've already signed everything for this year, so we're good to go. So, but I'm still committed to everything that I've always said that I was. I am on multiple committees at the judiciary, so I do want you guys to know that I'm still putting in the work. For instance, I'm on the Arizona Supreme Court's Commission on the Impact of Domestic Violence. I'm on our Veterans Therapy Court. I was just voluntold to be the chair of our education committee for all 26 courts. You know, also best practices, several different committees that I'm on. So I'm putting in the work, like I said, at the courthouse, and I still do things outside of the court, holding, I held an annual Mother's Day celebration where we got to celebrate people like Mitzi Epstein and Jennifer Germain. And so although I wasn't campaigning, I was still putting us out there, you know, so, but anyways, thank you guys. You guys are doing wonderful things. So I just still see you, even though I have to fly under the radar now. So keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Sharon. We're glad that you can join us. All right, next is Allie.
Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Allie. I'm the LD12 field organizer. And one of the biggest things that we're starting out with is our district-wide postcard initiative. So we have a lot of new members to our new LD12, a lot of new precincts who don't know who we are. And we want to make sure that they know who we are, how to get involved with our meetings, and how to take action with us. So this postcard is designed to reach those voters and just tell them who we are and get more information with them. So the front of the postcard has all that information, and on the back, we're asking for volunteers to write a small personal message and fill out the name and address. These come pre-packaged, so you get 20 postcards with 20 names and addresses and 20 stamps all in the baggie, so they're super easy. So if you are interested in getting more, or you're interested in getting them, or you want to know information, my info is in there. I'll drop it in the chat as well, and I'll drop the link in the chat, and you guys can pick them up from hubs around the area. We have hubs in Chandler, Ahwatukee, Tempe. So we have plenty of places that you can get them, and if you're not able to get them, someone will be able to drop them off to you. So I'll open, does anyone have any questions about postcards initially?
Yeah, this is Mary Lou. Are we having the leads also are coordinating this? Is that right?
Melissa, were you speaking?
I was just gonna say, this is an LD12 sponsored event, because I know that there are a lot of people that are working on current campaigns. So we are asking the leads to help be pickup locations if needed. We have a few different places, but if you have somebody, please let us know.
Okay,
Yep,
thanks.
we have about 7,000 postcards going out, so we do have a ton for everyone to be able to fill out. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk about and touch on is Mitzi kind of mentioned this, that LD12 is working really closely with Greg Stanton's campaign, which we're super grateful for, because I think it's a really good opportunity for us to be able to elect campaigns together and work really well together. So I've put together this slide that has all of our weekly phone banks, all of our lit drops, and all of our door knocking. And I think that lit drops and weekly phone banks are scheduled through the rest of the year until primary election, or not primary, sorry, the general election. So you can sign up for any day that works well for you through the rest of the election. So we have that awesome resource. So if you guys want more information, I'll drop those in the chat as well.
Allie, this is Ann.
Yeah.
We're actually done with our packets. So if you wanted to pick them up tonight. So,
yep,
I
thank
had
you
my
so
husband
much.
working on them this afternoon. So
Yep,
anyway.
shout out to Ann who put together all of our baggies for you guys. So we'll have them ready.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And we're of course going to continue to do everything we can to make sure that we maintain our seats in our LD, as well as get more people activated and motivated to fight for Democrats. So we'll have plenty of ways for you guys to help. Next is Jeff. I think, Jeff, are you on? I hope you're ready, and let me know if you need it.
Hi there, Melissa.
All right.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm so glad to be following Allie and her presentation, because basically, Allie is representative of what we spend our money on in the district. As you might know, I am the recurring donor person. I am going to be asking you throughout the cycle to please open your wallets so that we can afford the very important programs that we're running here in the district. As you can see, we've been hard at work putting together a budget and putting together a plan for the remainder of the cycle so that we can make sure that every single candidate on our ballots win their races. So, and that takes a lot of money, as you can see. We definitely have a large task ahead of us. $57,000 is the expenses that we're expecting to basically spend in for the rest of this cycle. And this money will be spent on campaign events such as the meet and greets that we had this past weekend. We are really looking to get out into our communities, basically introduce our candidates, tell them why we are the best thing on the ballot and why they need to vote for us. We are going to be doing campaign outreach. That includes Allie's postcard that you just saw. Allie's doing something really cool, something that I don't believe that we as a district have done in the past. And that is reaching out to our brand new precincts. Our new precincts that we acquired from Chandler, our couple new precincts that we acquired from Tempe, basically reaching out to every single new Democrat, telling them that we are out here and getting them involved in helping out with donations, getting them involved in helping out with volunteering, doing such great work. We are also doing $33,000. That's a lot of money. What is most of that going toward? As you may know, if you are a long-term member of LD12, we've been doing something called neighbor to neighbor letters for almost a decade now. And basically what that is the key to our success. It is basically the letters that go out to each of our Democrats in the district, as well as our independents, telling them who exactly to vote for. It gives them a nice sheet of information that they can bring to the polls and tells them who exactly they need to vote for. It is very critical and it is very expensive. We are spending in upwards of $20,000, or we are looking to spend in upwards of $20,000 for that program so that we can reach out to nearly 33,000 voters. So it's a huge undertaking and it does cost a lot of money. As you can see here, we've also got canvassing and office supplies that are here. That's to keep our office hubs that Melissa mentioned earlier running. We also have campaign staff that we've hired. Allie is helping us make sure that we are getting our volunteers activated and that we are getting our message out to the community. Fundraising events. Unfortunately, I do have to spend a little bit of money so that we can make money. So we do have a line item here. This is for the different swag that we will be offering during the campaign, such as our name badges, such as our T-shirts. Basically anything that we spend that we may return a dollar amount on, that's what goes into that particular bucket there. Also, some of you may be receiving a letter in the mail. Actually, probably all of you will be receiving a letter in the mail asking you to become a recurring donor. I'm going to have my friend Karen Lathan join us to help us out with the recurring donor drive, as we are kicking it off this month in July, and we are looking to basically increase our recurring donors by twice. As you can see from this slide here, our income slide, our current balance, we've got $26,000 in our bank accounts. That is a great amount for any district. However, our district is special. We are in a fight, and we are in the fight of our lives. As you can tell with the most recent Supreme Court rulings, basically the elections are going to be absolutely critical at the state level. What happened this past month with the Supreme Court means that they are passing all of the control to our state legislatures. And if we do not retain our blue status in District 12, we are in trouble of basically losing everything in Arizona, including our civil rights, especially for those of us who are GLBT, for those of us who are women, for those of us who basically have a fight in this game. So we are really, I'm losing my words, because basically it is so critical and so important that we all get involved and all play our part in this election, and basically ensure that we do our best to make sure that LD12 stays blue. The recurring donor line here, you see that we are at $20,000 for our cycle goal. Oops, sorry about that. In terms of the actual amount that we are expecting right now with our current recurring donors, and recurring donors, we absolutely love you. You are going to bring in $10,000 before the end of the cycle. We're looking at the possibility of one-time donations, basically people donating at random, or people donating towards specific events, such as the neighbor to neighbor letter. We don't quite have a projection for that number, so right now, our actual number is $0 for that. We'll update this each month as we go throughout the campaign cycle, and let you know how we're doing in terms of reaching our goal of 60,887. So if you were watching on the last slide, our total was 57,887. We want to have about $3,000 left over in the treasury, so that we can basically begin the next cycle off to a good start. So we've set our goals a little bit higher, and basically we're aiming for 60,887. Now, if we subtract that from what we already know we have in the bank and what we know we're going to get from our existing recurring donors, that is $35,000. So that means we are at a $26,000 deficit. So what we are here tonight to basically ask you to do is to open up your wallet and please consider making a recurring donation. And we can move to the next slide and take a look at our recurring donor program. And actually, I'm kind of curious if Karen Lathan is out there. Karen, are you out there?
You can talk. Can you?
Awesome, awesome. All right, Karen is going to help me with our recurring donor drive. And as you can tell from this slide, recurring donors are our lifeblood. We really are hoping that you'll make your donation today so that we can accomplish the great events, the neighbor to neighbor letter, those wonderful postcards that Allie is sending out, our great meet and greet candidate events, and basically just supporting our candidates up and down the ballot. Please point your camera at that QR code there. It will take you to the recurring donor page. And on that page, you will see the different levels that we have available for recurring donors. In fact, we've made our program a lot more generous this year because we know it is absolutely important that we have not just our people donating, but if we can move to the next slide, that we also have them out walking and knocking on doors. And one of the important things about knocking on doors is letting people know who you are. And we have made the decision as the board to basically grant anyone who is making a donation of $5 or more. This is less than the $18 that we used to require for the district. Anyone who's making a donation of $5 or more, you will get your very special LD12 name tag that you can see here. They also can be, and we understand that some people are just not able to afford maybe $5 a month. However, we do have the ability to purchase the name tag separately, and they're $22 at the link that you can see there. Now that link on that page is going to take you to the name tag page. The link on the other page is the one that we'll go back to so that you can make your recurring donation. In terms of other benefits for recurring donors, at the $25 level, we are offering an LD12 t-shirt. We don't quite have the t-shirt printed yet. We really wanted to make sure that we have the correct amount of donors for that, and so that we can estimate how many we should order, because we do not want to waste a single cent of your money. So we are ordering those a little bit later, and once we know how many we need to get for the recurring donors, and those will be available for a $25 recurring donation. At the $50 level, we are giving a cookbook away. That is our very special limited edition cookbook. And we are just so excited to have those. And so if you are able to make a donation at $50, a cookbook will be yours. At the $100 level, one of the special things that we'd like to give you, in addition to the name tag that you'll be receiving, is an invitation to a special reception with all of our elected officials that we get in November. So basically, after the campaign is over, after we've had a chance to recuperate a bit, we'd like to hold a cocktail reception, basically hosted at mine and Joe's house, and basically invite all of the electeds and all of our $100 level donors. So basically as a symbol of our gratitude. Now, we know that $100 is a lot, but just consider the possibility of donating just through the cycle. Consider the possibility of donating through the cycle, the $100. After November, go back to if you can afford $100 each month, go back to the $25 or the $18 or the $12 that you were previously spending. So, but we're just hoping that for the next several months, you'll find it somewhere in your own budget to help us out with our budget. So I'd like to turn it over to Karen. I've already presented a lot of what she was going to present. However, she is super exciting and super, Karen, I love you. You are awesome. Let's get some recurring donors. I see that there's been tons of messages in the chat and I haven't been able to keep up with them. Tell me what's going on out there.
We're keeping up with it, Jeff. Don't worry, we got your back. And I think Bridget, did you have a question? Okay, go. Really. What's your question?
Okay, my question is this: if you're already a recurring donor and it all said LD18, how do you either update what you've done or wipe out what you've done? How do you do that if you're already a recurring donor and you want to add to it?
Gotcha. That's a great question.
And it used to be LD18 where it used to go to. So how's that all working as well? So those are two questions really. So
those are very good questions. All of your donations have been converted over to District 12. So I'll answer the second question first. Basically, your LD18 donations are now your LD12 donations. So everyone has been carried over and you are continuing to still donate. If you would like to increase your donation and cannot find the appropriate buttons on the website, on the ActBlue website, what you can do is basically make your donation and just send either myself a note or Joseph a note, Joe Seeley a note, and let him know that you'd like to cancel your earlier donation and and basically substitute it with your new donation.
So to clarify, you're basically saying, don't even worry about what we were doing, leave that alone, just make another donation and create another reoccurring one.
You got it, exactly. There is the ability to cancel your existing donation, but if you're not able to find how to do that, because ActBlue does make it a little bit difficult to find out how to stop donating money.
I can find that, but
all right. Well, if you can't find it, definitely reach out to Joe or me, and we'll be happy to basically cancel that old one and get you on board for your new donation, whatever that amount might be. Are there other questions, or Karen, let me know how things are going in the chat. Are there other questions out there?
Nope, not yet. All right, let me just say this. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say this, that, during the pandemic, I know Susie and I, as well as many of you that had a job, were able to give back to those who didn't have a job and had to, when we ordered stuff, we tipped high and stuff because it was time for us to hurt, even though we didn't have to. That's part of being in the community. Same thing right now is this is every cycle. It's like, this is the most important one of your life. Well, literally, this cycle depends on whether we have a democracy in the future or not, plain and simple. So with that being said, I have up my donations, my monthly donations, and kind of twisted my wife's arm, and she upped her monthly donations because we have to do this. And if I have to not have, I'm sorry, Gabe, if I have to not have a cup of coffee, then I need to do what I need to do in order to make sure that this election, we are out there. So I am asking if each of you could look at it and say, where could you tighten your belt? We have from now until November. After that, reassess everything, get your finances. But right now, please give till it hurts, or give for democracy. Because if we don't have democracy. Thank you.
Well said, Karen, well said. And I already see some private messages to me. We've got a $25 donor. Thank you so much. Guys, if you are willing, please let us know in the chat. If you are willing to step up and donate, let us know how much you're donating for. It would be absolutely wonderful if you can make your donation tonight, or increase your donation if you are a recurring donor. We are actually a really fortunate district, and I just have to say thank you to all of our recurring donors. You are absolutely wonderful. We have probably more recurring donors than any other district. However, we have needed these recurring donors because we have had the struggle of our life in terms of keeping our seats, in terms of gaining our seats from the Republicans and making them blue. And now we are going to have a fight in terms of keeping them blue. So thank you so much, everyone. All right, and I'm getting some really great messages that are being privately sent to me. Some of them I can't necessarily say out loud, but basically you can just imagine the things that people are saying about Republicans out there, and also education vouchers. Let's see, I see a message from Scotty Craig, changing in ActBlue. Excellent, thank you so much, Scotty, for changing your donation. I actually saw that you increased your donation last month, so thank you so much. We really appreciate that increase from you. And David Gordon, I see that you're also increasing your donation. So awesome. Thank you so much. everyone, we can't spend too much more time on this, but I just really want to thank you so much for reaching into your pockets tonight and throughout the entire cycle. We've got a lot to basically do before the end of the cycle, and we need your help. So thank you again. And Melissa, I'll turn it over to you. Karen, thank you so much. Really appreciate you as well.
Thank you, guys. I really thank you so much for saying all those words about our district, and recurring donors are a big, big part of our district. Today, I sent out an email. If you're a recurring donor, you got a name tag. I'm asking that you just respond to confirm what you would like that name tag, what your full name. For example, Janie Heydrich, does she want it to say Dr. Janie Heydrich or Janie Heydrich? Some people are choosing to put just the first name. They don't want to put their last name. But if we are also going to be selling them, if you want to get an extra one, we had somebody get 2. They want to have a backup name tag. I love it. I think I might get one of those too. I might get 2 name tags. So we dropped the link in the chat and everything, or you can reach out to me. So thank you again to everybody. We have a lot of events coming up. So everything that we do, all of our events are always posted online. But I did want to point out August 2nd is Arizona primary election day. Make sure you get your ballots mailed in before that. Make sure you tell your friends, your family, get out there to vote. This is so important. And of course, we always are doing more and more fundraisers, right? But we have teamed up with LD13, and we have rented a screening, a private screening of The Gabby Giffords Won't Back Down. This is scheduled for Tuesday, July 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. The doors, you can scan the QR code, and I'll put the link in the chat in a minute as soon as I'm done. The tickets are going to be $20 a person. You can buy additional raffle tickets as well for this event. This is a private screening. It will only be open to LD12 and LD13. We have some great guest speakers lined up. Gabby Giffords is not one of them, but I'm still gonna try. I'm not saying, I'm not giving up just yet, but we do have Moms Demand Action, March for Our Lives, and Janie is going to be our MC for the night. So from 6 to 6:30, you'll be able to get into the theater, be able to buy snacks or whatever you need. The movie will start promptly at 6:30. It runs about an hour and a half. And then right after the movie, we will do some questions about it and let our guest speakers talk. So please join me. You guys are getting the first exclusive link to this movie night event. I will be there. I hope that you all can join me, and I'll make sure that this link does get into the chat. So if you have any questions, you can always email me or text me. I'm open. So I hope I see you guys all there, and thank you very much. So Sherry, would you like to introduce our guests for tonight?
Yes, tonight our featured guests are the Chandler City Council candidates, Angel Encinas, Matt Orlando, and Jane Poston. They are going to be talking to us about the 3 openings for City Council and answering any questions that you have. If you have questions for these candidates, please put them in chat, and we'll try to get to as many as possible. We're going to give each candidate 2 minutes to introduce themselves, tell us what's going on with their campaigns, and then we'll get into the questions, and we'll give about a minute or so for answers. I was just informed that Matt is currently still at his council meeting, so he may or may not join us at some point, and if he does, then we'll let him answer questions. But if not, we understand he has work to do. So first up, we will have Angel Encinas. You're on mute.
All right, there I am. Okay, everyone, it's good to be here with you guys again this evening, LD12. I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Angel Encinas. I'm Chandler's hometown candidate. I've grown up here in downtown Chandler my entire life. I'm a product of our Chandler schools. I continued my education at Arizona State University, where I got my business degree at WP Carey School of Business. Right now for work, I do immigration consulting. So I do all the advisement and document preparation to help people legalize. That's anything from DACA to residency to citizenship. I also do real estate on the side. My line of work is what actually inspired me to run for city council. Seeing the direct results of our work became so fulfilling that I wanted to do even more. And I decided to do more for my own community. And so that's what got me in this race that I've been considering for about 2 years now. A little bit, I basically wanted to bring some more representation to Chandler that truly reflects the voices of their community. So that's why I'm running for Chandler City Council. A little personal fun facts about me. I'm 32 years old. As you know, I've grown up here in Chandler my entire life, but I love to travel. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm an uncle to 7 nephews and nieces, and a great uncle as well. And I am the baby of the family. A little updates on my campaign right now. Just like everyone else, we are 3 weeks away from election day. My team is pushing really hard. We're out there in this heat, canvassing on doors. I was there at 6:30 this morning trying to beat the heat and the sun. We're out there. We have sent out thousands of mailers this week that should have received, hopefully you guys got them in your mailboxes. We've sent thousands of text messages. We're gonna be sending another round of text messages to get the vote out. And as always, just being in front of as many Chandler voters as possible to get the word out and allowing myself to introduce myself to you guys. So that's everything that I have for this moment. Looking forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Angel. Next up, we have Jane Poston.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for letting me come and introduce myself as well. My name is Jane Poston. Just a brief overview. I'm a long-term Chandler resident. I am a former city employee, and then I own a business that my husband and I started together when we got married about 22 years ago. He was a camera operator, I was a writer producer. So we have a video production and full service communications company. So, you know, as things go, we decided that was how we would build our life together. So I really feel, you know, Angel mentioned that kind of big picture, just for us as council candidates. And, you know, I hope I'm not preaching to the choir here, but for council candidates, this primary election is really critical. That's where our elections are won, truly, in the primary. So getting out those votes is very important to us. There are 3 seats open. One, we hope to be filled by the incumbent, Matt Orlando, who is still kind of stuck in a long series of 3 meetings tonight. And then those other 2 seats are wide open. So it will be 2 new candidates no matter what happens. So I think with the combination of experience with budgeting and owning a business and understanding basically how the city runs and sort of the ins and outs of how that works, I feel like I can hit the ground running. So I'm hoping that sort of that combination of being a fresh voice, as well as maybe having a little bit of experience and working a long time in the community will help me hit the ground running. As Angel mentioned, we are doing the same. We are out and just canvassing as much as possible, doing a lit drop, getting that information out there, just looking to make sure that people are voting and voting for us, quite frankly. We've been working in partnership to try and leverage our efforts. Both Matt and Angel and I have been out, you know, in partnership, dropping each other's literature just to make sure that we can have that unified voice for Chandler. So I appreciate any comments that you have. I'm going to put some contact information in the chat as well, if that's okay. And look forward to hearing from everybody. So thank you again for letting me be here tonight.
Thank you so much, Jane. We want to remind everybody that there is not a Republican running for the mayor seat in Chandler. So can each of you talk about the importance of electing all 3 of you to the city council and why that's important?
I'm sorry, did you mean there's not a Democrat running for
yes.
Mayor?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so Angel, do you want me to just start and you can jump in? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, our current mayor, one of the dividing issues is the non-discrimination ordinance. And that's been something that I'm the former board chair for the Chandler Chamber. And that was something that we tried to lead as the chamber. And we really tried to make it a very positive experience for everyone. But we brought that forward as a board, tried to bring the community together, tried to work with our elected officials. It's been a really hard no for no particular reason from our council and from our mayor. The mayor right now has a strong voice because he has a voting block, but the opportunity is right there to change that. So Matt and Angel and I have all have very strong endorsements. We have endorsements from police. We have endorsements from fire, who's been out actively working for the three of us. And we have endorsements from the chamber board, because I think between the three of us, I think we bring maybe some thoughtful leadership, as opposed to just moving forward with some of the same old ideas that everyone else has had. So like I said, right now, there is a voting block. We think there's at least one council member that will vote with us, especially on that non-discrimination ordinance, but maybe for some other more progressive ideas as well. So Angel, anything to add? Did I miss anything? I feel like I didn't articulate that as well as I could, but this election is as important as it can get.
Correct. Just like Jane is noting, all those are important topics as well, but this is going to be an opportunity for us to have a shift in power with the council. And, you know, as Jane mentioned, with her, Matt and I being on there, we have a consensus on how we think and everything. So this would be a great opportunity for us here in Chandler.
Excellent, thank you. The first question that sorry.
Yes, hi, Angel and Jane. Hi, this is Sam. Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Yes.
Sam, can you put your questions in chat? We tend to have them questions put there, and then we'll ask the questions.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
While Sam's typing his message, I'll give you one to think about. The first one is, Chandler was recently identified as the most expensive city in Arizona to get a 2-bedroom apartment. What do you see the role of the city council in addressing this problem?
And I can kind of go with that one since you answered the last one. You know, affordable housing is very important. It's not just in Chandler, but it's across the nation, as everyone has seen. Being in the real estate industry myself, I've seen people being priced out of Chandler. I've seen people that have lived here for many years, close by to the school in San Marcos here, and the kids are being redirected to new schools because the lease terms are coming back up, and you know, landlords are raising their prices even more, and people are just not being able to afford here in Chandler. You know, Chandler does have some programs that are assisting with this, and they're trying to have give incentives to landlords to help that, which whether it's going to be an incentive to bonus or to renew. But we need to do just a little bit more to keep up with this pace, to keep these people here in Chandler that have established their lives here for many years, and you know, they're invested here in Chandler. We don't want to lose those people in Chandler. So we just need to become a little bit more creative in that sense. You know, obviously the real estate market is free market. So as far as the control of city council, there's not too much that we can actually do, but we need to create different programs or work with our developers that are coming in and building these new apartment complexes and different styles of housing, and see how we can work together as far as working with our teachers and working with our healthcare providers to see if we can get these people to live and work here in Chandler.
And then I'll just add that actually the meeting that Councilmember Orlando is in, I was trying to listen to both at the same time for a little while, is actually addressing public housing issues and addressing some of those issues in Chandler, what we can do to expand on some of the housing for our residents. You know, one of the things that was just actually just mentioned like 10 minutes ago, is that we have a wave of seniors that are about to lose their homes. They're on fixed incomes, and those rates, their rents are getting raised like $400, $600 $800. And I'm kind of that sandwich generation. I have a mom that's 83 and a son in college, and I'm seeing it on both ends, and it is a very real issue. And I feel very fortunate that I'm, can help both of them. One other thing that I would really like to mention is, Angel mentioned, some of those developers. I know, and I ran into a developer in town talking about how it takes a very special skill set to be able to develop some of those public-private partnerships, but there are federal dollars that can be leveraged. And I know the school district and the schools are looking at getting very creative in trying to create some workforce housing for their employees. What we're going to need help with when all three of us are on council is looking at help from our friends up in the state legislature to make sure that some of those state laws are adjusted, that we don't have the gifting clause, the gifting issue, because we know that that's something that either the Goldwater Institute or some of those other organizations will go right after. So from my understanding, if we can get some of those legislators to really be willing to address some of our laws to allow the cities to actually be able to do a little bit more, that would be wonderful. So looking forward to working with our friends in that area too.
Excellent, thank you. I see that Paul Weick had mentioned some of that preemption that the legislature has done to stop the cities from addressing these things in the ways that they want to. And so it's nice to know that you guys want everybody working together to do what's best for the community. The next question is, over the last decade, Chandler has been growing with industry moving into the region that requires a skilled workforce. This would require new training or upscaling skills within the workforce. What are some of the steps that you see the City Council taking to support training?
I'll jump in a little bit. I know there are things that the City Council is already doing, and I think what I've appreciated seeing is actually some of the private sector actually taking that on. There is, it's not Murphy's, I'm blanking on the name, I'm sorry, a construction company in Chandler that's begun almost an old school apprentice program. But I see some of the things that the City Council can do is having those partnerships with both our school districts, both Kyrene and CUSD, and then the community colleges on some of the things that they're doing to create a different type of workforce or a more expanded workforce. Because personally, the one that I see maybe most overlooked is some of that technical training that are great jobs for our kids. But I think we have been so college focused, and I'm a college focused person myself, but boy, not everybody needs to be. And I think there are fantastic jobs. My neighbor across the street is an electrician and has made a wonderful career out of it, and owns his business. But some of that technical training, so anything that we can do to support that technical training, it's one of those things. Education, I think, is the key, although it's not really a City Council issue. I think that we can be have maybe better relationships with some of those educational organizations than I've seen in the past. Chandler's been, I think, a kind of superpower has always been our relationships with partner organizations. And I've seen that fall off over the last couple of years. And I think we need to create those good relationships well beyond election year, so I'll just leave that at that without sounding too snarky.
No, and Jane hit that right on the head as far as having those partnerships. One of the great examples of partnerships is, I don't think it's necessarily with the city of Chandler, but something that they have with CUSD and Chandler Gilbert Community College. They have an amazing program of cyber technology that they're launching that has been going on. They have an awesome facility right here in Chandler Gilbert where they're teaching kids from high school and having an awesome technical program for college students, and they're recruiting directly from there. So I think we need to build on these types of programs and these partnerships and have the city get a little bit more involved along with our school districts to make things like that happen more here in Chandler.
That's great. Thank you so much. Sam's question is in chat, and it somewhat piggybacks on a question that we had about the undeveloped land in Chandler very small percentage. And a question about what is your position on development and future development? And then Sam adds to that about the city council has previously been very friendly to developers, and in their contracts for developers, the city does not place any penalty should a developer breach a contract. Will you change that if elected?
I can start off here with this one. Obviously, as build out is coming, we're almost there. Chandler's at 93, 94% build out. There's not too much land left. A lot of stuff is already zoned out for different things. And that's where I want to come in and bring that type of voice as someone who has grown up here in Chandler, lived here in downtown Chandler. Yes, I do love everything that's going on here in downtown Chandler. It's amazing to have great restaurants, these bars, these new businesses that are coming in. It is very exciting. But at the same time, it is very a little worrisome for me because I've grown up in this neighborhood my entire life. My grandparents' house is a few houses down from me. I've seen what this neighborhood has been transformed into. And although I like the growth, I feel like there needs to be that transparency and that connection between the community. And that's why I want to bring that community engagement piece to Chandler, especially when we're building new developments and taking Chandler into its next life cycle of what we're looking like in the future. I feel like it's going to be great to have someone's perspective like me, who's been here for 30 years, and have that input, that little piece of voice that's either going to preserve that tradition or preserve that perspective of Chandler. It's just that small little piece that's going to take it, that's going to remind you when you have these new apartment buildings and these new structures and things coming out. So that's what I want to bring to Chandler as far as that. So yeah, Jean, you can elaborate a little bit on there.
Okay. I think specifically, probably Sam is talking specifically about some of those partnerships where the city had cobbled together some land, especially in downtown, had developers come in, and then that land sat vacant for a very, very long time. And I think it really stilted the growth of downtown. And at the time, our council members were in the contract that they were in. However, there were extension after extension after extension. And I think at some point, those extensions should have stopped. And I really think if that's what you're going at, Sam, I agree with you that I think that did stilt the development. And to dovetail off of what Angel said, yes, we are reaching that build out, and we have a very small area. The good news is Chandler's been planning for build out for a very long time. In 15, 20 years ago, they were projecting, and those projections have to be adjusted and changed a little bit. They're a little bit higher, I think, than it had originally been anticipated. I think we're even at 275 to 280 now, and we're expected to be at 330, and some are even saying 360. But it means that what we need to transition to is that redevelopment piece, and that's that same area. There are cities and there are developers that are very good at that. There was a Four Corners retail that the city did when transportation changed. So the traffic counts all, like along an Alma and Chandler Boulevard, where we had strip malls or malls and retail on 4 different corners. And the idea was, can you take one out, put residents in there, and that feeds the businesses. Then the businesses are supported. The residents have a great place that's very walkable, because we hear from our residents that they want those walkable communities. So I think we need to be very careful, and Sam, probably to your point, look at that with a very skeptical eye, that we need to write those contracts well. I don't know about penalties, simply because I don't know if that would discourage anyone from coming in and doing what's a very difficult revamp type of project to start with. I certainly wouldn't want to discourage a good developer if that's not a common thing to create a penalty, but certainly to be able to willing to have those stop gaps in those contracts where we say, if you aren't meeting your requirement or your obligation, that we have the ability to back out of a contract, just like you do in any normal business, where you have those obligations that you need to meet. If you aren't meeting them, that needs to change. So I hope that answered the question.
I think so. Thank you for your question, Sam, and thank you both. I have one last question, and that is, Chandler is wonderfully diverse. What are your plans to highlight and support this diversity?
Do you want to go, Angel, or?
You can go.
Oh, okay, because I felt like, I'm sorry, I just talked for so long.
Oh, okay, no,
So-
I can go. No, it's fine. So yes, Chandler's been a great diverse city my entire life here. And one of the great things that I've seen in the last year or so is the city's involvement with the communities, getting a little bit more intact and getting a little more touching base with different communities. A great example was the Asian Moon Festival that was last year. I know it was its first year brought to Chandler from Scottsdale, bringing that culture here. They did a big push with Contigo in October, which really highlighted a lot of different areas and brought in a lot of different peoples, and it brought a lot of community engagement. And they had a great event at the Galveston Elementary School. Hadn't seen a turnout like that in such a long time. And so I want to help build on different events or different strategies to get the community more involved. We're already a diverse community. It's about getting the involvement, getting that outreach, and getting people to come into the communities and hang out with one another. Sorry. So yeah.
All right. So, I say give a little credit where credit is due. That the city for a very long time had, one gal in a diversity office, and she'd be out there all on her own, begging her family to help her create events. And the city's moved forward a great deal, now putting the diversity, equity, and inclusion office under the city manager. Those are all good things. But I would say that what I think I would like to do, and I will be an advocate for, is moving in addition to having, that variety of festivals and activities, because I think that's where you begin to reach those communities. We reach each other with food and dance and different culture. And I think that's a great touch point. But I think from our perspective, we need to begin taking a look at implementing policy. And that's where the NDO comes in. And that's where maybe even some of the city's policies come in. I was very disappointed to see, I think we did some really good hires recently in the city manager's office. However, all of them look exactly like our city manager. And to me, that means that it's not that they didn't find good people, it's that they didn't do a good job in terms of recruiting maybe a diverse community. Maybe they just didn't do enough outreach. In addition to that, the city has policy around support of benefits and those sorts of things for, maybe I'm just going to pick LGBTQ couples, so spousal benefits. Those benefits didn't come along until the federal government forced them to. So going back to what was discussed with all of us a little bit earlier, when those benefits and when those rights are at risk, quite frankly, I don't see our city council, our current city council, standing up and saying, yes, our city employees still deserve those rights, because now that it's the city's choice to do it or not to do it, they're all telling us very clearly. Their inaction is speaking very, very loudly right now. So I know that there are quite a few staff members that have a fear around that. And you shouldn't have a fear from your own employer when you've been doing a great job for years and years and years. So I think it's time to transition to maybe being a little tougher or a little more focused on some of those policy decisions. So.
That's great. Thank you so much for that answer. I know we're all ready for our Chandler residents to flip the balance of power and get you three elected. Please give Matt our best. If he has anything that he wants to add, we can send him the link to the meeting. He can send us any details or answers that he wants. But I really do appreciate you both being with us tonight. So Chandler, now it's your time to get out there and vote for Angel, Matt, and Jane.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much to you, both you, Jane and Angel, for coming. And I'm sorry Matt missed it, but here is, of course, your call to action for the meeting. Get out to vote, remind your family, tell your friends, post on social media, tag your candidates in it, who you're voting for. It's really important. Primaries are extremely important. So let's just not forget to make sure people are getting out there to vote. And tonight, of course, we're going to get a legislative update. I will have Jennifer Germain will be up first. So Jennifer, I will spotlight you.
Good evening, everybody. And I'm going to just touch on some of the numbers because I know Senator Bowie is going to go through all of them in depth. A couple big wins that we got. $2.5 million for missing and murdered Indigenous peoples investigations. $1 billion for water. Hundreds of millions of dollars for K-12 and universities. For the first time in Arizona's history, insurance coverage for postpartum care for 12 months. For the first time in Arizona's history, your children have juvenile Miranda rights now. And you as a parent have the right to say lawyer before your child is questioned by law enforcement. We created a brand new community treatment program for pregnant and new mothers who are dealing with drug addiction. This is kind of a diversion program where they would be able to keep their children with them and go through treatment and have their children go through early education classes at the same time. And where it functions in other states, it has proven to reduce recidivism and to reduce relapses into addiction. So, and it has kept these children out of foster care system, has kept families intact. So I'm really, really excited that we were able to get this through this session. And we got about $50 million for construction of infrastructure within our rural tribal lands. So this is really the first time in Arizona's history that we're putting state dollars into building roads and water and power in our tribal rural areas. So really looking forward to that. One of the Supreme Court cases that was decided in this last week, the Castro Huerta case, which you may not have heard much about because the Roe case was kind of dominating the news. But this is a very, very big deal for tribal prosecutions, and whoever our next attorney general is, and please, please, please let it be Chris Mays, because we really need her in the attorney general's office. The attorney general will have some prosecution powers over crimes that are committed within tribal nations. So it's going to be up to the AG and up to the tribal governments to create that collaborative agreement. But this is the first time in Arizona history that the AG will have that role in tribal prosecutions. Before, it has always gone through the Department of Justice and the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So it's going to change things quite dramatically within criminal law, within tribal law. So making sure that we have somebody in that office who is keen and attuned to having proper consultations and having proper outreach with our tribal nations and having that government to government relationship will really make a huge difference, especially when we're looking at solving murders and restoring some sense of closure to families who are dealing with horrific crimes and with obtaining victim compensation and victim services. So those are some really big wins that we got at the end of the year. I'm very, very excited for some of these things. On the campaign side, we've got a phenomenal team that is helping out with our Chandler races. Naomi Beach, Chandrea Norman, who is our Miss Juneteenth 2022. And thank you and shout out to Councilmember Odie Harris for hosting the Juneteenth events in the city of Chandler. Kylie Hunson-Winter, Adam De La Rivia, Leela Raj Sinlair, Keenan Ramirez, and Haizana Ramirez. So if you get calls from any of those folks, please answer your call. Please come out and lit drop with us. We're going early in the mornings to beat the heat. And I will turn it over to Mitzi.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I am Mitzi Epstein here as your state representative. And so thank you for that really uplifting view, Rep. Jennifer Germain. It's so true. There were some good things really did get delivered. And I love that rundown, especially healthcare. A lot of good things are happening, but you also listed a couple of real problems. I'd like to focus on just the theme of overreach, because that's what we're facing. June was no fun. You know, there was a firestorm of rights ripped away from us by the Supreme Court. And that was on top of the tornado of badness that the legislature passed. So Republicans are just overreaching and overreaching. That's the theme of the attacks they're doing on the foundation of our democracy. So starting off with, you know, the big elephant in the room, and it's from an elephant, is the ban on abortion. Not just to ban abortion health care, but a total ban, the most extreme, even a personhood piece in there. It means that abortion health care could even be prosecuted as murder. This is their goal, is that if you even drive a person to another state to get an abortion, they want that to be a crime. It's about the right to decide your own future, to decide your own life, your outcomes. And it's been ripped away from us by SCOTUS because Arizona has this remaining horrible, terrible law, on top of the fact that nobody's really too sure which law applies. So our rights, and a horribly extreme version of it. Then there's the legislature, which passed not just vouchers, but universal vouchers with no accountability whatsoever in private schools. And keep in mind, private schools are lovely for private money, but when taxpayer dollars are paying for them, taxpayers deserve accountability, and we get none of that in private schools. Plus, it's a personal pet peeve that public money should not be used for a school that can tell you, no, we don't like you, you can't come here. So the vouchers was overreach, another example of overreach. On top of that, K-12 funding, we could have moved the needle. You know, for months before the budget was negotiated, I said we need $740 million just to stay even keel with inflation. And we got about 800 million, woohoo! But we also got this voucher program that could be as much as 300 million taken out of it if all the kids who are in private school right now, if their families decide, you know, I want a voucher to help pay for the private school that my child is already in anyway. 800 minus 300 leaves us with 500 million, and that's not even going to cover inflation. However, please thank the Democrats who helped make this budget happen, because we would have gotten even worse with this austerity caucus in the Republican Party. There is a team of legislators in the Republican Party that even said a skinny budget with no increases whatsoever was too much spending for Arizona. So, you know, kudos to the fact that we did get an agreement, and it is bipartisan, and it was better than it would have been with the austerity caucus. But you cannot call it good. If our teachers don't get an 8% raise, they're not going to keep up with inflation, and that's less money. That's less buying power for them. So I'm very worried about our schools. I think they're going to make it all work. They're going to do everything they can to make class sizes as good as they can be. I'm afraid it'll have to be done on the backs of teachers once again. And so we've really got to get the Democratic majority in the legislature so that we can help our schools. And then the last thing, of course, that was overreach was the censorship. As though censorship wasn't bad enough, telling us we cannot teach about slavery or the Holocaust, and we can't blame anybody, and we can't say those are bad. Censorship wasn't bad enough. They also banned books. So overreach. It's all too much. And the worst of it all was this week when I got an email from the Republican Party network, because I try to listen to what the other guys are saying. And they said that their official goal is to dismantle public schools. Let that sink in. They're saying the quiet part aloud. Their goal is to dismantle public schools. So we've got our work cut out for us, and I'm so glad to hear that our wonderful neighbor to neighbor letter is getting set up again. Please, please, please sign up to do the neighbor to neighbor letter. We have so many people to reach. We really need everybody to pitch in and help with that. So reach out to Jeff and Allie to sign up to take some of that. Do the postcards. They're a really fantastic, what a great project. Do the postcards. And if you want to sign up to help my campaign, we'll get you hooked up with the Stanton campaign and the whole of LD12. Plus, we have this really cool phone banks now where you click and it dials the phone, and your phone is not involved in it at all. So last thing, of course, yard signs. We're still pushing yard signs. Stop by my house or go to the website and sign up, and we'll have a volunteer bring you one. Thank you, everybody, and have a great evening.
Thank you,
I'll
Mitzi.
pass it over to Sean next.
Yes. Sean is in DC, so let's see. Looking good so far, Sean.
Hi, everybody. Forgive me. I am in DC this week. I'm hoping my Wi-Fi in my hotel room is good enough so you can all hear me and see me. This is my final legislative update. We might have a special session later this year, but if we don't, this is my final legislative update for 6 years in the Senate. And we do actually have some good news. When we talked to you last month, we obviously were not done with session yet. We were not done with the budget. If you look at where we were in early June, June 6th was when the kind of first budget draft leaked, and you look at where we ended up 2 weeks later, I view it as a significant accomplishment. If you look at where we started, and if you were involved and you were in the room and you saw where it ended up, I view it as a significant win. Early June, we were looking at less than 150 million ongoing in the base for our K-12 schools. We ended up getting over $500 million ongoing. When you take all of the ongoing K-12 investments, over $800 million this upcoming year. When you add the one-time dollars, it's over $1 billion for K-12 this year. Talking to our local superintendents and principals, they're ecstatic. Each district is different in how they're going to spend the dollars, but given the constraints we have, last I checked, we're still in the minority. We still have Doug Ducey as our governor. We had a lot of significant wins. It obviously was not perfect. The ESA bill was going to pass regardless. It was pretty evident that that was going to pass. So the options were either a budget that invested in a lot of our priorities, or possibly a skinny budget or continuation budget. And they could have gotten ESAs and we would have gotten none of that funding. So I think we're able to put a good budget together. Those of you who get my weekly emails, I sent out a really long update about 2 weeks ago, kind of going over how we put everything together. A lot of additional money for our universities, for the Housing Trust Fund, for our DD providers. We also got some bad things taken out, like an STO expansion. We got more district additional funding. So I view it as a big win. I also want to give Jennifer a shout out. One of her bills got signed into law. I want to congratulate her for that. I also had another bill signed into law, Senate Bill 1222, which is going to help a lot of low-income Arizona families. It has to do with bankruptcy protections and families who are struggling. Instead of child tax credits and the earned income tax credit benefits being taken away from them and going to bankruptcy attorneys, they can keep those dollars. That allows them to pay for groceries and rent and gas. So that's going to help thousands of Arizona families. So that's my 7th bill signed into law. The governor signed that last week. So that's it for my update. I love all of you. Thank you very much for your help and support. These last 6 years, I'm officially old news, even though I'm in office until January. You all are nominating some new folks next month. So I've said it many times, but I mean it. I love you all. Thank you for all your help and support over the years. So concludes my final legislative update. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sean. Oh, I mean, really, I know I've only known you for a couple of years, but it's been amazing. You can see everybody is very happy. You will be missed. I hope you continue to join our meetings and give us updates on how things are going. So, okay. Thank you to our legislators. You have done some amazing work for our district. We're so excited for all that you have done and what you're going to continue to do. I know you guys will be doing big things for us still. We still have LD18 cookbooks available. If you would like to purchase it, you can scan the QR code and we will get in touch with you on the delivery. So we are coming to an end. So we'll be giving out our Bada Bing raffles And I believe Jeff, are you going to be doing your sharing your screen? I forgot to share it with you. I will stay on after the meeting if anybody has any additional questions. So thank you again to everybody that attended. And I need to give you Jeff host so you can share your screen.
Actually, I think you need to send it over to Joe, but Melissa,
yeah.
I do want to thank all of the people who stepped up and donated tonight. We got lots and lots of new donations. So much appreciated to everyone who has stepped up for the recurring donors. Thank you again. And I'll turn it over to Joe so that he can share his screen.
Excellent.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for your very generous donations. It's very much appreciated. I think I am sharing my screen. I think you guys are seeing it. Anyway, let's get the show on the road. We sold a lot of Bada Bing Basket tickets today. Margaritaville was very popular. I wonder why. Anyway, we sold 322 Margaritaville tickets. So let's go over here to the random number generator and see who our lucky winner is. Ticket number 242, and that belongs to Bridget. Congratulations, Bridget. You're the lucky winner of the Margaritaville. And we sold 134 of the Good Morning Coffee baskets. So let's go see who the lucky winner is. And it's ticket number 107, and that is Paul White. Congratulations, Paul. You're the lucky winner tonight. And I just also want to give a shout out to Carol Blackman. She has been awesome in making sure that the cookbooks are getting where they need to go. If you have ordered a cookbook and have not heard from Carol, please, please, please let someone know, Melissa, me, or Carol know, so that we can get it to you. And with that, I'm going to go back on mute. And thanks everybody for your generous donations. And please consider upping or adding a new one. And thanks to Jeff for taking over some of the budget stuff and helping with that. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, everyone. We are closing the meeting. I'll stay on for 20 more minutes. And if Fred Barlam is on this meeting, because I saw him pop in earlier, Fred, I'm trying to get a hold of you. You won last month the Bada Bing raffle. I still have your gift basket. But thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording and we'll stay on.